So yeah. Hi Ravi, welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel and welcome to Ahmedabad where you're doing a presentation on Waves, a new product that has been launched by you and your company in India. So all yours.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Ravisankar and I represent Waves in the region over here. This is the first time for me in Ahmedabad, so that's interesting as well. It's good to see a new set of people. Waves, though we are doing a presentation over here for the first time, LV1 has been around for 4 or 5 years. And Waves itself has been around for more than 27 years. It's still run by the two people who started the company. We made the first and a third-party plugin, Q10, which even to this date a lot of people swear by when it comes to getting your queue down to very narrow. It's gone on to about 300 odd plugins now. We also have virtual instruments. That's fairly new, but then we have a lot of really nice. Recently we had the flow motion synthesizer come out, bass fingers. That set of software is increasing as well. Plugins have been used in the studios for as long as we've made them. And since they work with all the different platforms, it's used by Pro Tools users or Logic users, Nuendo users, regardless of what platform you're working on. And a few years back, we came out with Waves SoundGrid. This was to enable people to use Waves plugins in the live situation. So in the studios, if you wanted to have multiple workstations, for example, there's a Pro Tools studio and somebody comes in with a Cubase or Nuendo or Logic as a musician, they want to collaborate. Instead of having different interfaces and conversions, Waves SoundGrid allows you to, over Cat6 cables, transport up to 128 channels of audio at 96 kilohertz, just 0.8 milliseconds of latency, which is very important. So communication between different workstations or modules, all that became very easy with SoundGrid coming in. Now, with more and more engineers going from studio to live, that's when you want to have the same processing that was used in the studio come into the live situation as well. TDM plugins made it possible with the venue range of live consoles, which DigiDesign Avid did. And that's when people started using plugins in a live situation. Waves was pretty much the favorite of a lot of people. Now, to enable that kind of functionality for other consoles, we have something called the multi-rack. So the SoundGrid is a network. It has a switch through which everything is passing. You have a server which is doing all the processing, which is what keeps it at this minimum and latency which is acceptable. Then there is a host, which can be the multi-rack or it can be the Waves LV1. And you have the I/O. So Waves SoundGrid is a protocol like Dante or Firewire or whatever. So anything which has the WSG logo on it is an interface which you can plug in directly. So we have one from Sound Studio that we are using over here, which is mainly for the live work. This is a 2412. There is also a 16.8. There are interfaces available from Apogee. There are interfaces available from Pearl Audio. DS Pro makes a 40 channel. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to the IOs. And for the consoles themselves to talk to the multi-rack host application, it goes through a SoundGrid card. So Digico has a SoundGrid card. Midas, Allen Heath all have SoundGrid cards. Yamaha has a SoundGrid card. You put that into the back of the console and then it becomes like an insert, up to 64 channels. So multi-rack is a virtual rack, 8 different racks on which you can load up 8 different plugins on each rack. So 64 channels of processing available to any live mixing environment, regardless of which console you're using. There are Dante converters, there are MADI converters, there's an AVB converter coming out. So pretty much Waves SoundGrid can talk to all other protocols which are out there. Coming to LV1, LV1 is a mixing software which we developed. And from ground up, we developed it to work on the touchscreen. You can have up to 4 different touchscreen used. And in any console, inside the frame and the faders that you see, there is a CPU, there is some software, there is a DSP, there is some sort of networking, there is in out either at the back of the console or it could be as a stage box. And this is pretty much the same concept, except that over here, instead of one bulky console that you have to carry around, we have made it highly modular. So what you see over here, it's a Pelican case which has been customized. Inside it at the bottom is the server and the computer, the host computer, something called Axis One, which Waves made and is shipping. You can use any Windows PC or Mac to install the LV1 software, because the host application itself is very light. It's not hungry on the processing. All the processing is happening on the server. So inside this over here, there is a server, there is an Axis One computer, both of which are rack mountable. We have two touch screens here. You can have two more connected. There's a keyboard. You can have even a fader bank if you want, which could be connected over here. Because it is so modular, every user has the freedom to set it up how they want to use it. Many people use it just with one screen. It really depends on what the user is comfortable with and the kind of shows they're doing, how many channels and what kind of quick access do they want. For example, you can take this channel part and drag it out. It becomes a different window, and this window can then be kept, let's say, in such a way that whenever you touch a channel, that channel's view comes up over here on a different screen. So if you have groups, you can spill them to do. So what I'm saying is it's highly customizable, how you want it laid out. Fairly straightforward and simple, just almost like an analog console. You don't have to learn multiple pages like you would with any other console where they have a particular way of working. This we feel is pretty straightforward laid out. Allows you to set up your mix how you want it. You can connect different workstations. So for example, over here we have a couple of other workstations connected to record or playback. Waves has a software called Tracks Live, which is a free software, 128 channels over the same Ethernet cable. You can record, playback, do virtual sound check, things like that. The mixer engine itself is 32-bit floating point, so you get really good quality processing and audio. We have 64 channel, 32 channel and 16 channel options of the software itself. This is something which allows you to build as you grow. You can start maybe with the 16 channel option with one I/O, do smaller events and shows, because there are plugins like Dan Dugan mic mixer, which is automatic mic mixing option available. So if you're doing a conference kind of thing, you take a small interface, just one laptop maybe, so it doesn't take up space. This itself is below 30 kgs. You can check it into a flight. It's not possible with most other mixers out there to do something like that. Yes, you have another box with the I/O, and these travel around. We have seen a lot of bands and engineers buying these systems, because that then guarantees them the same kind of sound wherever they are going. You get different PAs, things like that, but you don't have to depend on the rental company or the local provider to like, okay, what am I getting today? This mixer, that mixer. Instead of that, you can carry your mixer around. Even in Mumbai, we have two people who are FOH engineers who have their own personal systems. So the systems now are part of, when you hire the engineer, he comes with the system. So in a way, it allows him to add value to what he's providing. He can guarantee a certain kind of sound because he knows what he's coming with, and it's economic enough to fit into the budget of an engineer or a band who want to buy something for themselves. Bands can record, rehearse, and pretty much the show is set up before they actually go live, because everything is done before, and you can save different templates. You can save templates for festival kind of situations. So we have, when you start like a new track, new channel, it will ask you if you want to do a preset, which means you can choose a vocal channel, a drum, cake, or anything like that, which comes with the processing already put in for you to start off, like a starting point. Of course, you will then tweak it, but it allows you, unlike in a lot of other cases where you have a new mixer, you have a festival, there are different bands you don't know coming on. It's not that easy if you are new to that. But this, we believe, is pretty straightforward when it comes to something like that. So the sound quality being modular, giving you the ability to use the Waves plugins within. It comes inbuilt with emo plugins, which are made by us, and they sound fantastic. But you can add more Waves plugins, and everything is running off the processor, so there's no latency. Up to 10 fingers can operate on the same window, because Windows supports up to 10 touch points. On the Mac, it's single because it's a Mac OS thing, but LV1 works on both. Windows is what most, I would say, majority of the people are using, mainly because it's got the touchscreen, multi-touch facility. So having the ability to use different kind of IOs, the flexibility to set it up the way you want, the modularity, the fact that you can carry it around, and great sound, which is making, if you look on the Waves website, there are a lot of big bands switching to using this. So it's not just because it looks like this, it doesn't mean it's a small system by any means. It can do anything any large format digital console can do. In the 64 channels, 16 auxes, 32 bus system that we have, it has groups, matrices, so patching, everything is straightforward, and we're giving something which is, I think, a new way of mixing. It's going to probably change the way people look at mixing, just like from analog to digital, the way it shifted. This has the potential, and that's something which I'm very interested about. You know, I was part of other workstations when they were coming up in my previous job, and over here I have an opportunity to, on the cusp of something great. You know, that's what I like about it. So we are coming to different cities and doing workshops. We are open to you wanting to check it out for a show, come and feel the faders. Unlike the different apps which support from other manufacturers, they are mainly support apps. You don't really think of that as your main mixing module, whereby there might not be that instant reaction to your faders. This has been developed for touchscreen from day one, so you are not going to miss the actual hardware, a tactile surface. That's what we've seen in our experience. So yeah, come to one of our shows or give us a call. Modi Digital is our distributor. Talk to Sudeep Audio. We can arrange for a demo or a trial. And I'm very excited about it, and I'm sure all of you will be once you check it out. Thank you.